If you were to shrink the Earth to the size of an apple, the crust we live on would be thinner than the apple's skin. Beneath this fragile layer lies a massive thermal engine, a reservoir of energy that has been churning for over 4 billion years. While we often look to the sky for renewable energy, a virtually inexhaustible power source is sitting directly beneath our feet. This is geothermal energy, but not as we currently know it. We are beginning to look beyond shallow steam vents and toward the deep, supercritical heat of the mantle itself. At the very center of our planet, the core is estimated to be roughly 6,000 degrees Celsius, about the same temperature as the surface of the sun. This heat isn't just a remnant of the past, it is a dynamic, ongoing process. The Earth is effectively a 10,000-mile wide battery that never runs out. It generates roughly 47 terawatts of heat as it flows toward the surface. To put that in perspective, human civilization currently consumes about 18 terawatts of power. If we could capture even a fraction of this leakage, our energy concerns would vanish. This heat comes from two primary sources. The first is primordial heat, the energy left over from the violent birth of our planet. When gravity pulled together clouds of dust and rock to form the Earth, the kinetic energy of those collisions was converted into heat. Because rock is such an excellent insulator, that heat has been trapped for billions of years, slowly migrating outward. It is a lingering echo of the solar system's formation, stored in the dense iron and nickel of the core and the rocky silicate of the mantle. The second source is a slow, steady burn. Deep within the Earth's crust and mantle, radioactive isotopes of uranium, thorium, and potassium are constantly decaying. As these atoms break down into more stable elements, they release subatomic particles that collide with surrounding rock, generating heat. This process accounts for about half of the Earth's total heat flow. In essence, the ground beneath us is a massive, naturally occurring nuclear reactor, providing a constant supply of thermal energy that doesn't rely on the sun shining or the wind blowing. For a long time, we have only harvested this energy in places where the Earth's crust is thin or fractured, such as Iceland or the geysers in California. In these locations, tectonic activity allows magma to sit close to the surface, heating underground water into steam that we can easily test. This is conventional geothermal power. It is clean and reliable, but it is geographically limited. Most of the world's population lives over cold crust, where the intense heat is buried 10 or 20 kilometers below layers of incredibly hard granite. The challenge of reaching the ultimate energy source is a matter of material science. Traditional mechanical drill bits, even those tipped with diamonds, begin to fail as temperatures exceed 250 degrees Celsius. The rock becomes so hot that it acts more like plastic than stone, and the drill bits wear down in hours. To reach the depths required to power a city anywhere on Earth, we need to rethink how we move through the ground. We need to stop grinding rock and start vaporizing it. New experimental projects are exploring the use of gyrotrons, which are high-power vacuum tubes that emit millimeter-wave beams of electromagnetic energy. Instead of a physical bit touching the rock, this beam blasts the stone, melting and vaporizing it to create a hole. This method could theoretically allow us to reach depths of 20 kilometers, where the rock is hot enough to turn water into a supercritical fluid. At this depth, we aren't just looking for hot water, we are looking for a specific state of matter. Supercritical water exists at pressures and temperatures so high that the distinction between liquid and gas disappears. It possesses the density of a liquid but moves with the low friction of a gas. In this state, water can carry 5 to 10 times more energy than regular steam. Pumping water down into a superdeep well and bringing it back up as a supercritical fluid would allow a single geothermal well to produce as much power as a small nuclear power plant, using nothing but the Earth's natural temperature gradient. To keep the system sustainable, we use closed-loop heat exchangers. Rather than pumping water directly into the Earth's cracks, we circulate a working fluid through a sealed pipe system that descends miles into the heat. The fluid absorbs the thermal energy through the pipe walls and carries it back to the surface. This eliminates the risk of groundwater contamination and prevents the seismic tremors sometimes associated with older geothermal methods. It is a clean, self-contained cycle that harvests heat without consuming the water itself. The implications of this technology are profound. Geothermal energy provides baseload power, meaning it is available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Unlike solar and wind, which require massive battery arrays to manage their intermittency, a deep geothermal well is its own battery. It is a steady, rhythmic pulse of energy that can stabilize the grid. As we transition away from fossil fuels, having a constant, carbon-free source of heat could be the missing piece in the puzzle of a fully sustainable energy infrastructure. If superdeep drilling becomes viable, the geography of energy changes forever. Any city, regardless of its proximity to a volcano, could drill its own power source. Large, centralized power plants with long-distance transmission lines could be replaced by localized wells located directly beneath urban centers. We would no longer be dependent on complex global supply chains for coal, gas, or uranium. Each community would sit atop its own sovereign energy supply, harvested from the very ground they walk on every day. We have spent the last century looking upward and outward, trying to capture the energy of the sun and the wind. But perhaps the solution to our energy needs has been beneath us all along. By turning our engineering expertise toward the deep interior of our own planet, we are learning to tap into a primordial furnace that has been waiting for us. The Earth is not just a place we live, it is a source of nearly infinite potential if only we are brave enough to reach for it.
If you'd like more videos like this, you can subscribe and come back to Brief Stories anytime.